shared so much knowledge and her presence with us today. Before we segue into the next question, we wanted to do a temperature check with you all and see if you had any thoughts or questions to share out and ask or contribute to the space.
Yeah, hello, my name is Jayla. My question is, I know Assata made a transition from the Black Panther Party to the Black Liberation Army, somewhat because of the, male chauvinism and misogyny that was going on in the Black Panther Party at the time. Can any of you speak to how this very pervasive, misogyny and chauvinism can be avoided in Black liberation movements today? What tools can use to kind of decolonize the internalized patriarchy that we've learned to grow up with in the Black community? And how can that be evaded in our liberation struggles and organizations?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, this is more of like a personal opinion, I guess, as somebody who is a non-male that has been in movement spaces for some time. I would say to any of the sort of non-femmes here, really when you enter these spaces, you really need to check yourself, and you really need to take a second to think, is what I'm about to say actually going to contribute, or am I just I think really take a second to consider what it is that you're aiming to share before you share it, because a lot of the times from my experience in spaces, I think that men can sometimes enter thinking that they already have all the answers, and a lot of the times other folks can contribute in ways that are sometimes kind of overshadowed by that. So I think that to me is the biggest thing, is taking a moment to just acknowledge, check yourself. I truly do believe that, and I think that should be for anybody in any movement space. We should all be checking ourselves, what am I really trying to say before I say this? I think we should all be intentional, but I really do think that sometimes that sort of lack of not checking can lead to sort of taking up a lot of space, which is really highly unfortunate, especially because a lot of the actual labor, day-to-day labor of the movement falls on femmes. So that's what I would say.
I'll just add to that, because that's a really important question in terms of Assata and many others moving away from the Black Panther Party and doing the underground work. It was also because of intercommunalization that she talks about in her autobiography. So not just, the internal happening within in terms of society. It was ideology as well, and also seeing the infiltration of the FBI, right, coming into the Black Panther Party. And so I think that's important to note as well. But I think what a lot of organizations can do, and what one of the ones that I'm a part of, Pan-African Community Action, has done, is completely got away with the hierarchy. And so there's no one in power above anyone else, right? Because a lot of times when we look at these organizations' top-down approach, there are specifically men who have been historically, right, in those leadership roles. And so I think taking that away and just having committees in which everyone is on an equal playing field really just highlights the importance that everyone brings to a specific cause, right? The other thing I think is having moments of political education that talks about these internal issues from organizations that we can look back to even within the UNIA, right? It's not just the Black Panther Party. There are other organizations that we can look to as a model to say, this is what we don't want, because we are thinking about preservation and survival in terms of our political ideas and how we can all work together collectively. And so I think that those two in particular, I also think it's important to have, be in community with people who are in the actual community, which, I think what I've learned is that in many times in movement spaces, a lot of us are very much detached from the actual community in which we are saying we are a part of and doing the work with, right? And so I think that those three would kind of hopefully, right, I'm not saying this is what will actually happen, but hopefully take away from this idea of the patriarchy and misogyny that has existed, and also the homophobia that also has existed in Black activist spaces and is still continuing in some ways. And so I think the power structure has to change, right? We don't need a president and a leader, right? We are all the leaders, we are all the maroons doing the work. And I think the political education is very important in terms of how we have historically been dismantled because of our internal issues. I hope that answers your question.
Also, I just feel like we have to, I don't personally identify, like, I do use they, them pronouns, but as someone, I do recognize that I do show up in a space looking like a man 9.9 times out of 10. And so it's recognizing, it's recognizing that, like, we have to have the courage to not normalize something. We have to have the courage, and as a queer person, like, it is something that is severely lacking. It is, the homophobia in and out of radical spaces, in my opinion, is still unacceptable. Like, I feel fully comfortable saying that. And like, we have, and it is not just because people say or do things, it is because other people don't say or do something to correct them. And if we don't, and it's all of us, we all have to have the courage to say something, but I do really want to say, like, men, like, we have to have, like, the courage to say something, because a lot of times, and I will even go a step further, like, straight men have to, because a lot of times, straight men will only listen to other straight men. They will not listen to women, they will not listen to queer men, they will not listen to non-binary, they will only listen to other straight men. And so we really have to be mindful of not allowing these things to pervade our work, because then we will leave people behind, and we cannot leave people behind. That is the most important part. We cannot leave people behind.
If your question is compliments this story.
Pertaining to what she said.
Okay, and I'll just say.
Okay, I'm Sister Janae, I'm the East Coast Chairwoman of the Duke Panther Vanguard. Okay, so I can directly relate to her conversation about women in leadership. And the first thing I tell my comrades is, number one, I am a woman. No men want to listen to a woman in my type of leadership, but you need me in this position because I can get into places that you can't. Other men don't even respect other men. But when you have a woman who's been elevated to a certain level and voted in by her peers and has proven herself and standing on your own square, all you gotta do for yourself. Be a woman, be a leader. Right here, I'm shaking and rocking. And Malik, I work very close to them. I work with them. We traveled all over this country, helping people and aiding people in the Black Power revolution. You know what I'm saying? So, as a female, I dealt with everything. Oh, you sleeping with everybody, doing this, doing that. The same thing they did to Elaine Brown. You know, he should be in this woman that's out here doing. But all I had to do was be myself. You know, and stand on my principles and still be a feminine woman, still be a woman in leadership. And like you said, teach the political education. The women ran the party. The men was just on the front line doing what the women told them to do. Okay, and that's something you gotta understand. And the way they was able to communicate without Facebook, Twitter, all these things y'all got right here, because they had conversations with them. My cousin lived in Chicago. I got a friend out here. I'm the entire East Coast regional chairwoman. So I got connections. You know what I'm saying? And that's important in the liberation to have connection and practice community. You know, we are a community. If they have a problem on the East Coast or the West Coast, they call me. What can we do? You know what I'm saying? What do we need to do? We have a problem on the East Coast, the West Coast comes in and guides us in ways that we can. We're doing things internationally. You know what I'm saying? As y'all young people in the room, we need you to step up and be champions in your own home. That's our goal. Our goal is to break champions in each and every household. So if you love Sister Assata, you know what she meant to us as parents, whether she was in the Liberation Army or the Black Panther Party. She was the most important person at that time. They worked together to get her out of jail and to people. But you can't do that, like you said, you gotta set aside your problems. I might not like these people up there, I don't like them. And I tell them, I don't like you. But because of the movement and how important it is to these babies to see us work together, that's what we need to do and work on. So just like she said too, check your heart, check yourself. Don't just be out for attention or a title. I don't want this. I want a man to be in this position. But there don't mean that I'm qualified to do what I'm doing right now. So until one of y'all guys step up and say, hey, Sister Janae, you could go retire and sit down and go to Cuba, go to Paris, wherever London, friends I want to go. You know what I'm saying? The work has got to be done, and that's got to be your main purpose in life. Get the work done while you're young. Y'all got life. I'm 47, and I'm still out here on Fort Line. And I didn't even get out here till 35? So I realized that I had been sleeping, you know what I'm saying? Sleeping and just doing what I want to do in the world. And then you realize that the struggle, it didn't start with me. It's not going to end with me. It's not even going to end with her. So you got to do what you got to do right now. Seize the time. That's what Assata said. Seize the time. Take advantage of the time. And that's all I want to share.
Thank you.
Okay, I did not want to, Delaney would not talk to me anymore if I didn't do this, and this is very important. Hello, Obi Egnuna. Thank you.